In this video, we are going to look at how the code for the flower program works. This code is very big, so I want to make sure that we can break it down to make it easier to understand. Now, in line 3, we import the turtle module. In line 5, we create a turtle. And in line 6, we set the speed. Now I've changed the speed to 2. Normally it's at 0. And you can see when it runs at 0, the program draws very quickly. That's because setting the speed to 0 is essentially the same as making the speed infinite, or as fast as possible. But that makes it difficult to understand how the program's working. So instead, I'm going to set the speed to 2. You can see it's much slower now, so it's easier to understand what's occurring. So let's break this down step by step. The first thing I want to do is just look at the stem. I'm going to highlight the rest of the code and comment it out. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to hit Control ? And that will comment the code out. Now, all I have to look at is the code for the stem. You'll notice that I left lines 41 and 42. Line 41 draws the screen, and line 42 will run the program. Without these two lines, the code won't run. So let's take a look at just the stem. In line 9, we turn the turtle green. In line 10, we make the pen size larger. And in 11, we tell the turtle to go to spots 0 and -150. Our turtle will always start at 0, 0. That's the center of the canvas. So we're going to make it go down, which makes sense. We want to draw a straight line for the stem. The next two lines are a little bit harder to understand. It tells us to set the heading to 90 and then move forward 100. So let's just run this code. I run the code and it draws the circle, or draws the stem down. Now, if I take these two lines of code out, you'll see it has the same effect. So let's figure out what's happening here. To do this, we're going to use a little bit of debugging skill. I'm going to change the color of the turtle to red. I do this just so I can see the difference in what's happening with the code. So now when I run it, you can see that the turtle goes down. Setting the heading to 90 makes it so the turtle faces up, and then we move forward 100. Now this is important for the next step, which is drawing the leaf. So let's take a look at the leaf. We're going to set the heading to 270. You'll remember that 90 set the heading up. 270 will change the heading to a different direction. Then we're going to draw this circle. You'll see 20, 120, 20. You learned about this in the previous lesson. We set the heading to 90, and then we go to 60. So let's take a look at this right now. And I'm going to change the color here as well. I'm going to say painter.color blue, so that we can break it down just a little bit more. Okay, so we can see that the circle was drawn partially to create what looks like a leaf. Then I set the heading and went back to the stem. It's a little lower now than it was before though. So, and I can show you that by going ahead and saying painter.color, and we'll pick pink. So let's try this now. It's a little lower, but it makes for a better leaf. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to draw the rest of the stem. And then we change the pen. We're going to make the shape a circle, and we're going to change the size. So let's see what happens now. Okay? That's the beginning of my circle, or the beginning of my flower. So let's draw the circle now. Alright. So the first thing it does is it changes the color to dark orchid. The painter then goes to 2180 and we set the petals to 0. You'll remember from the while loop video that we used a counter. Here, instead of using the word counter or the variable name counter, we're just using petals. We have the same setup though. We have petals equals 0. In the previous video we had counters equals 0. We have while petals is less than 18. In the previous video we had while counter is less than 18. And then down at the bottom we have the petals equals petal plus 1. In the previous video we had counter equals counter plus 1. This is called a counter pattern, where we have counter equals 0, while counter is less than something, and then counter equals counter plus 1. This pattern is essential to know for computer science. So I'm going to stop this and then I'm going to run it one more time, see if we can break it down just a bit more. And you can see here, that's where my circle went up to the top. And just to show you that really quick, let's take out this while loop. My circle starts here, and then it will draw 18 petals around. And that's my flower program.